Ah, the classic shot, the graduate.
Classic shot. Yeah.
I was just so happy. You know, you get to a point where you're completely ready to move on.
Carolyn Gear was on the dean's list, had 2 internships, a part-time job, and a long list of extracurriculars. But when she graduated in May with a degree in public relations from New York's Hofstra University, the one thing she didn't have was a job.
At first I thought it'd be easy. You know, coming out of school, everyone always told me you'd be fine, you'd be fine. And then, you know, you realize you're really not fine. You know, there's not much out there.
How many resumes did you send out?
Definitely sent over 100. I would say like 150 resumes out.
Out of all those resumes you sent, how many did you actually hear back from?
1.
Just 1?
Yeah, saying the job was filled.
What I kept trying to do was reassure her that it wasn't her, that it was the economy.
Carolyn's mom, Janice, and her dad, Peter, witnessed her struggle at close range. That's because, like roughly 1 out of every 8 Americans between the ages of 22 and 29, she moved back in with her parents because of the recession. Gear also kept the part-time job she had during college at a restaurant over an hour away from home.
People would ask you, so what are you doing? Are you working? Are you working? And, you know, every time I would have to say, not yet, and I haven't found anything yet, I haven't heard anything. I definitely didn't think that I would still be working my part-time job after I graduated.
I don't think our children are going to do as well as, you know, previous generations. You know, as a parent, you don't want to see that.
You know, all of a sudden you're helping them every way you can just so they can keep their heads above water.
It's not just that this generation won't have the same opportunities right out of school, but something potentially far worse. The impact of graduating in a down market can last for years. In fact, a 2009 study by Yale economist Lisa Kahn found that students who graduate in a recession not only earn less at their first job, but they still lag behind 5, 10, even 15 years later. For a typical worker, that can mean the loss of about $100,000 over the first 20 years of a career.
Graduates, it's now abundantly clear that we need to start doing things a little bit differently.
In the face of these bleak statistics, President Obama has a message for the millennial generation. Be prepared to adapt.
You'll have to keep on gaining new skills, possibly even new degrees. And you'll have to keep on taking risks as new opportunities arise.
Students seem to be getting the message. Usually, they start focusing on their careers senior year, but this fall at Philadelphia's Temple University, hundreds of freshmen turned out for a career fair the first week of school.
We had over 300 students attend, which blew us away. We thought we'd have about 50 or maybe 75. They're coming in with a very different attitude and approach and expectation than students did even 2 years ago, because it was just a different market.
In this new market, more students are choosing to go to college than ever before, perhaps because of how difficult it is to get a job without a college degree. For people 25 and older, unemployment rates for those with a high school diploma are double those for college grads.
We see that one of the most obvious reactions to a recession is that young people go to college more, they stay in college more, they go to college full-time and not part-time.
Caroline Hawksby, an economist at Stanford, says a college degree is the best defense against a recession. And the Obama administration has taken steps to make college more affordable and to help students who graduate in debt. In March, the president signed the Health Care and Education Reconciliation Act. It rerouted $40 billion towards programs including grants for low-income students and community colleges, money that used to go to private banks making student loans, essentially eliminating the middleman.
We need to invest in the future of this country.
That just might help buy students the time they need, says Caroline Hawksby.
Many people who stay in will have stayed in just past the point where the recession is at its worst, and they'll come out and the labor market will actually be picking up.
But what of those recent grads who are already on the job market? A degree is no guarantee. Jason Bohat earned a bachelor's degree in architecture from Temple in 2005.
I was pretty much drawn to architecture from playing with Legos, playing with building blocks, playing with Lincoln logs.
When he first got out of school, the construction industry was booming, and he found work at a local architectural engineering firm.
This was a project I did for a retreat for scholars.
But in 2008, the economic downturn hit the construction industry hard, and Bohat was laid off.
They pretty much said, okay, well, no more job, can't pay anymore, We have alignment, attention, go!
So he fell back on a part-time job as an assistant rowing coach.
Being able to try and instill some kind of passion that I have for something in somebody else. I think that's the ultimate reward.
You're done. You're done. You have face things.
But there's no money to that,
Your butt's here. Your head's
Part-time coaching paid Bohat a stipend, which worked out to roughly $4 an hour.
arms away.
And like two-thirds of college grads, he was in debt with over $20,000 in student loans.
One is going to be your
To
arm.
save money, he moved in with his parents, who say they were happy to have him.
all 100 bucks.
Earlier this year, his mom was diagnosed with cancer and is now in remission. His dad suffered a stroke a few years ago. With his life at a crossroads, Jason Bohat began to consider doing something he never had before, joining the military.
I would say that was not even in the cards for me. I wasn't saying, okay, well, I have this, and this, and then there's the Army.
But he ultimately decided it was the best option he had. He joined the National Guard. His 6-year hitch comes with a $20,000 bonus, the same amount he owes in student loans. But the bonus wasn't his only motivation for enlisting.
Part of the reasons to join the National Guard were, for service, kind of like giving back to my state and my country, but also to get benefits, like benefits of like possibly going back to school, whether it was to be architecture or something else.
10 weeks into basic training, word came that his unit was being deployed to Iraq. His mother was dismayed.
I don't think she was too happy. She's like, no, don't go, don't go, don't go.
But he did go and served 6 months outside of Baghdad. His job? Clearing roadside bombs. Jason Bohat isn't the only one who's decided it's worth the risk. History shows that when the American economy goes down, volunteering for the military goes up. And in the current recession, more people with advanced degrees are joining up. The number of new Army recruits with college degrees rose more than 50% from 2008 to 2009, and the number of those with master's degrees are up over 80%.
The best reaction to a recessionary job market is to be very flexible, and that really means being willing to take a job you might not otherwise be willing to take in an industry that you wouldn't have thought of before.
Some millennials, though, keep plugging away in their chosen field. Carolyn Gearer, like many, was hopeful she could find that ideal job online, using email, Facebook, and job search websites. But after sending 150 resumes into the internet void, she decided to try doing it old school. She went to meet employers face-to-face at a networking event. One of them helped her get several interviews at PR agencies. She was so excited for this one that she arrived an hour and a half early to prepare.
I have a little sheet from Hofstra with questions they might ask, what I should do, what I should say. So I looked through that. I'm just so nervous to the point where my brain is it's just like a whirlwind. I don't even know.
She didn't get a job that day, but this story, at least, has a happy ending. The week after we followed Carolyn to her interview in the city, she was offered a job at another PR agency.
Are you excited about your new job?
I'm so excited. They offered me the job yesterday, and I asked to start working on Wednesday.
Wow, you want to get to
so
work.
I start tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, I've been waiting for this for a while. Why even wait until Monday? And this is the perfect place for me. I'm really excited.
We're gonna open up the food so that everyone can eat and just be merry.
Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, Jason Bohat is only home for 2 weeks on leave before he'll return to Iraq for another 6 months. The day before he left, his friends and family gathered to say goodbye.
Being away for so long, it's like you sort of miss all those people that do care about you. Well, it's not like necessarily anything's bad gonna happen to me.
Give me a low five.
But I almost treat everyone as like this is the last time you're gonna see them.
But even with months of service ahead of him, he's already thinking about the next step.
Unless you move your book somewhere.
Oh, that's right. I need to get my textbook and put it in here.
Yeah,
I
you forgot the
about
most
that.
important thing.
Yeah, I kind of need that.
While in Iraq, he'll take an online course working towards a master's in exercise science in hopes of getting a job as a full-time coach or athletic director when he comes home. He says the only way to survive in the new economy is to be flexible.
Nowadays, it's like you can't find a job unless you just think outside the box.